Hey everybody, Shawn Holsinger here from holsingersflyshop.com. Bringing another tying video this week. This week it's a caddis pattern. I wanted to add another caddis pattern to my fly box because I don't have anything that really works in the mid-range, the water column, the emerger. So for me, I needed to add an emerger pattern, and I was searching around trying to figure out what I wanted to go with. And I want to fish this on my Euro nymph, so I'm going to add a bead to it. This is a twist, well, it's not really a twist, it's a bead head version of Tim Fox's pattern from the early 1990s. It's his Caddis Poopah. And like I said, I'm going to add a bead to it because I want to fish it on my Euro nymph rig, but I'm going to go light on the bead, and I'm going to fish this off of my dropper. I'm not going to fish this down on the bottom on my point fly. This is going to be off my dropper, so it's higher in the water column as I'm fishing it. Because what happens is I'm going to fish, like during the Granum hatch or something like that, I'm going to fish a peeping caddis or something on the bottom, and I'm going to elevate this up off the bottom a little bit so it's swimming to the surface during the hatch, you know. That's what I'm trying to imitate here. I'm trying to imitate the caddis as it's swimming up to the surface. So this is a great imitation for it. You know, you're going to have the peacock feather, or not peacock, the partridge feathers, or Brahma in my case here, to act as the little wing. The horns on it, with the mallards. It's just a great imitation pattern, and it'll catch you fish, guys. It's been catching fish all over the country. It was originally for out in the Sierra Mountains, and it's made its way across the country, and it catches fish everywhere. So give it a try. Tie it in a lot of different colors to match the different caddises. Here you're going to see a couple pictures of the ones that I've tied here. In Pennsylvania, for instance, we have more caddis than other aquatic insects. For example, we have more caddis than we have mayflies or stoneflies in our area. Stoneflies would be the least, but believe it or not, we have more species of caddis than we do mayflies. And, you know, we should be concentrating more on that. We always try to match the hatch on the mayflies. They're fun to fish, they're fun to see, but caddises, we see them year round. So we should have more attempts at, I feel we should be trying to imitate the caddis more, and that's why I want an emerger pattern. So give this one a try here. Here you're going to see a picture of one and then the material list to tie it. Okay, here you see the Caddis Poopah in the vise. Really cool fly. Let's get into tying it. For a hook, we're using a Daiichi 1120. This is a size 14. And for a bead on there, I'm using a little bit smaller one. I'm using a 2.4 black nickel bead. And for thread, I'm just using some Semperfli Nano silk. This is 12-aught black. Strong stuff. I like using it. Next thing we're going to put on there is a piece of Brassie copper wire. And this is going to be the rib on our fly here. So I'm just going to start that on the side. And I'm going to wrap it back just around the bend of the hook a little bit. And then I'm going to put on some flash. This is Mylar tinsel. This is actually lateral scale. Use whatever you have here. This lateral scale is just easy to work with. It's nice and wide and long pieces, and so I just used it for that reason. But you could use some large Mylar tinsel or whatever you have there. Tie it on, and then I'm just going to wrap it forward and cover up this hook shank. Just nice side-by-side wraps. We're not building up body here. We're just giving it that flash. Wrap it up right behind the bead and tie it off. Okay, you saw at the beginning there I used a brown colored piece of chenille. This time I'm going to use an olive. You know, Granum season will be around here before you know it, so we're going to use an olive for that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay this on top here, and I want my head here, I took a lighter, burnt the end off here just a little bit. I want that to go just out past the bend, as you can see there. And I'm just going to switch hands with it and tie it down right behind the bead. Make sure I keep it up on top here. And make a couple wraps there, and then we can cut it off. You can see I don't have that real long there. I like that. That's pretty good. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make one wrap around the hook first. so I can come up top and go over top of the chenille and wrap it on there. By going around that one wrap first, it helps to tend to pull it around less. And we're just going to wrap that up behind the eye there towards where our collar is going to be and wrap it off. Again, you can see it's not real long, but it does hang out over the end a little bit. That's exactly how I like it. Okay, now next thing, totally optional. I'm going to put a little bit of Brahma. This is a Brahma feather. You can use partridge, whatever you have here. You don't have to put this on at all. This is going to be the wings on our emerging caddis here. So this is meant to imitate an emerging caddis as it swims to the surface. So I'm just going to put these on underneath here. Get them going back right to the bend of the hook there. Stick it in underneath. Get it twisted there where I want it. Cut the butt sections off the feather then. Pretty simple. Clean it up with a wrap or two. There you go. There's my wing. You can see there on the bottom. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put the horns on this. For the horns, I'm using a mallard flank feather. I'm going to strip two fibers off of there. And I strip them off together, keep them together. It's just easier for me to work with it this way. There's two fibers there. You can't really see it. We'll see it at the end. But I'm going to lay it on top, and I want it to go about the length of the chenille. And I'm just going to tie that down, and you'll see that it pops up and it ends up being a little bit shorter, and that's fine. And then I'm just going to trim that butt section off. There you see they do split a little bit. I'll split them a little bit better after my next step. Last thing I'm going to add on here is a piece of ostrich herl. This is black. And I try to find a very small piece. You can see how the fibers on this aren't really long. That's what I want, like up closer towards the eye rather than down at the bottom of the herl. I just don't want a big overwhelming collar here. Just going to start that on there, get a couple wraps around here, build up a nice collar. Tease that back. Get 5 or 6 wraps on there where I like it. And tie it off. And this is a pretty simple caddis to tie. Trim that off. Come in and whip finish. And we're done. Now you can tie this without a bead if you like. I'm tying it to fish. Oops, I missed my whip finish. I'm tying it to fish on my Euro rig, so I do want a bead on it, but I'm not going overboard because this is going to fish higher. I'm going to fish this off my dropper. This is not going to be my point fly, so I want this a little bit higher in the water column. There you can see. Then I'm just going to take my scissors, come in here with that mallard flank, split them apart, and there you have the horns on the fly. Great looking fly and pretty easy to tie. Alright guys, I hope you like that pattern. Pretty easy one to tie. You can tie them pretty quickly. And you probably already have the material to tie it laying around there. So have fun tying it. If you do need any of the materials, hit us up at our website at holsingersflyshop.com. And if you want me to tie any of these for you, I can most definitely tie them for you. Just reach out to me at holsingersflyshop@gmail.com. That email address goes directly to me and not through the shop, so it gets right to me and I can take care of your order for you. So thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate bringing them to you. Show season's right around the bend here. I'm going to be hitting quite a few shows this spring, so I'll be at Edison, Lancaster, Cabin Fever out in Pittsburgh, Maryland Fly Fishing and Collectibles shows. So if you're in the area for any of those, and I might hit one up in New York this year too. So if you're at any of those, stop by my table and say hi. I enjoy talking to you guys. So thanks for watching, guys. Until next week when I bring you another video, I'm Shawn Holsinger.